Hello everyone, we are here with the Motorsport Hardware M3 and Ryan Castro, the owner of Motorsport Hardware and this beautiful car. And I wanted to do something a little bit different for the GTA Finals recap on this car. We kind of had a quick recap with the NSX, a little bit of kind of what was happening. And to be honest, that gets a little bit stale sometimes. So I thought it would be really cool to have Ryan go through the entire car with us, show us what really makes this so unique as an E36 M3. For those of you that have followed myself for a long time, you know that I used to be a very big BMW head. I still love the cars, but I love more of the older stuff. I had an E36 M3 and plenty of other BMWs as well. And then if you are a very, very OG Beamer Forums guy, you will know Ryan as Cali Boy, who may sound funny to those of you pre or post forums, but on the forums, Ryan was known as Cali Boy, and he had the most incredible BMWs like on the forum, period. It was the kind of thing where I was, in 2004, I remember I was in college and just drooling over the cars that Ryan had. And I lived in Colorado, he was here in California. And to think that today I drive his cars is just unreal, because it's an honor to drive this thing. It's an absolute monster. He's built such a phenomenal machine. And it's exciting to work with him over the years. He was actually the first sponsor that believed in me, which was kind of cool. He was with the Motorsport Hardware on my M3. The first person that took a leap of faith with me, it was him and Mike from StanceWorks. They kind of came on board at the same time, and I can't thank him enough for that. So to be here driving his car, you know, at finals and today is something truly special. So I wanted to go over everything with him and show you guys just how cool this thing is, because I think there's so much more under this cool livery that you really don't see. All right, Ryan, so tell us a little bit about the car.
All right, so it is a 1995 M3 E36, and essentially from the outside it looks pretty simple, but I'm really all about not being too much outside of the livery. There are some elements of the car that some people wouldn't see. So starting with the outside, we have the RS Future front end splitter, aero, and wing package. What a lot of people don't know is we did the Drifter Boy thing, and we have some fitment lamp fenders on the car with added flares. So yeah. Flare on flare.
So we've got that flare on flare action to fit these massive tires.
I get enough crap for that. But that's for us to fit the 295s in the front. We will be working on putting a 315 up front this year, because this car eats fresh tires every session, and Amir can attest to that. Look at his hands when he drives.
Yes, it does.
Everything.
It is a handful, this thing.
And you can kind of see more of the flare up here. It takes the body line. That's what I do like about it. It's a little inconspicuous, and we added the hard motorsport flare. The flares on top of the flares are hard motorsport stuff. Yeah. So that we can fit the 315. And
it's also super cool for those of you, like I mentioned, the Cali Boy style of Ryan's, and it was a show car kind of background. These flares, normally everyone rivets them on. He molded them into the body, so the actual over fender itself looks perfect. Like you wouldn't know it was there, because of how it was blended into the body, which I think is just really cool. He didn't want the rivets on the outside for both the over fender or the flares and the over fenders, so he blended those together. And then we added the flares just because of the tire requirement, and getting big tire on an E36 is a challenge.
Yeah. So I guess we can move into the inside. And inside's pretty, I guess, general E36 race car type stuff. We have
there's a couple of things in here that make it a little special.
Yeah. Well, what you can't miss is the beautiful cage work that Proto Machine has done. Yeah. And you can see with the quality of the welds and how many points are tied in that everything has been really, really well thought of, you know, as a test to Mike and Riley's
and the
attention to detail.
Yeah, and their fitment's excellent. And then even the way that they integrated the tank for the dry sump is so cool.
Yeah, so that, and we have our fantastic Furcomp Samsonis sequential shifter that really was the star of the show for this car for this year.
Yeah, 100%. This thing was just the jam.
And you know, data acquisition coming through the AIM, and all the wiring that we hope to clean up with a fresh ECU
and a PDM.
Exactly. fancy
hood prop.
there. It's aluminum, lightweight. So over here we have a motor that started life as an LS2 that was punched out by BRC Raceworks. Ryan Cunningham built this, a fantastic, massively reliable motor. Now it's now what started off as a 6.2 liters, now 7.1 to 434 cubic inch. We run this motor on ethanol.
This is more than 3 times larger than the K20 I have in the NSX.
So yeah, she's
a big one.
Does about 610 horsepower to the wheels.
And how much torque?
And I believe the torque is about 560.
Damn.
So the parts that you probably won't see is that torque you can definitely feel with the big differential.
Yeah.
Me doing a parade lap was destroying my back. It's really hard to drive the car slow. It needs to be driven angry.
Yeah, it does not like to go slow.
So you see another Proto Machine sticker right here, because you can see that they have built this phenomenal radiator setup. And what people don't know, and they usually question me on, when they look at the radiator, they're saying, your radiator is smaller than stock. And, well, it works. We don't have any heating problems at all. So everything was well thought. This is sealed. There is a scoop down here that fits directly to the bumper.
Incredibly tight to the bumper.
Very tight.
Yeah, so we have a very cool duct in that goes through to the radiator. You can see it kind of right there. Into this. So all airflow is controlled in and out, which is excellent for the front aerodynamics.
Yep. And essentially, we have that. We have our Motorsport ABS system here. A lot of this handiwork is maintained and modified by Jarek over at JMP AutoWorks. He is the get it done guy. The get it done on a race car guy.
That is true. We can't talk about this car without talking about Jarek. He has put an insane amount of work into it.
And he's a test driver who is awesomely fast.
Yeah, exactly.
So he makes sure that the car stays put together.
Yeah, he reminds me when it's scary.
All right, for the back side, you can see that we've cleared everything inside here. We have a breather can for the sump tank so that we're not getting our driver high. We don't need that. You can save that for other times. Going underneath, you can kind of, well, I guess back up, you can see how the rear subframe is tied into the cage. Like I mentioned, they're very, very well thought out. You know, they've even boxed in the shock towers for added reinforcement.
Yeah, full plinth boxes in there that you can see. You can put caps on the top of the tubes to clean it up. And what do we got underneath
here? We tend to get a bunch of people that come to the garage and say, "Why does your car sound like that?" And we got this big old honking 4-inch pipe here that loves to tell you, loves to show you, or you can hear the presence of the car.
You definitely, you know when it's on track. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, yeah. And then down there, what we're looking at is we're not running a standard differential. We're running like the Euro E36 large case, a 210 millimeter differential that can handle about 1,000 horse. Because we blew a differential.
I remember that. I exploded that at Auto Club.
Exactly. Going straight.
Yeah, going straight.
We weren't even launching.
Coming out of the pits and just blew it up.
Yeah, we found 6 neutrals there.
Yeah, exactly.
So for this event, we actually redid all of the suspension arms. Everything that we could get spherical is spherical. Just because we felt that it was prudent with the kind of forces that this car puts down. I'd be hard pressed to see an E36 that's been driven harder. So things get stressed out. Things need to get refreshed every now and then.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, we've got an RS Future wing here, one of the first actually. And we've got Cecil here with one too.
Yeah, look at him. He's got the fancy.
He's got the carbon uprights. He's got all the options, minus the big end plates, but we won't hold it against him. Yeah, and we're gonna redo actually the whole aero package on this car, something a little bit more extreme for next season. I'm excited.
All right, so talk about wheels and tires.
The most important part of the car. It's what touches the ground, and you do everything to make these guys happy.
Yeah, so we like looking good on track. You can see the NSX is damn sexy. We try to get the M3 sexy enough. So we choose to run little JDM boy wheels. You know, we've got our Advan RSDFs.
Beautiful wheels.
18 by 12, 18 by 10 and a half forged wheels. And we've got the Sparta brakes down there that really do their best in stopping the car. About the handling characteristics of the car, we are going to be transitioning over to a KW suspension. We're finding right now that we're wrestling with what this car has currently. We're constantly changing stuff, and when we change one part of the suspension, it changes the characteristics, how the car reacts on track on the other side that we haven't touched. So it's always a back and forth battle. So we feel that going with KW suspension is going to solve a lot of those issues simply.
I agree with that 100%. Off the shelf KW Club Sports on the NSX. And Ryan's right. Like, one thing he's heard me, I feel bad for Ryan because all I do is complain about everything I don't like. And then once in a while I'll tell him about how great the car actually is. And then I just complain about everything I don't like, which is how you make a car better. But right now the suspension, it's super bouncy. We're always fighting one end versus the other, and we just need to get them both to work. So we're hoping that this solves all those issues.
Your complaint box is starting to get lighter.
My complaint box, it's so funny. I was talking to Mui about this, like when we started this project, and you were like, I think this would be a fun time attack car, versus now the complaint box is like a couple of envelopes versus before. I was like, all right, this is the 7-page spreadsheet of things that we need to fix. And I have to say, it takes a lot of commitment to do that in time attack, and Ryan has done all of that. I will put a picture of what this car was before versus what it is now, and it is just, Ryan knocked it out of the ballpark, making this thing just an absolute monster. And every year it gets faster, and every year goes faster by like a second or two, which is really cool.
Yeah.
All right, so thank you so much to Ryan for showing us the car and going through it with us. I know you guys have seen this on the channel quite a bit, and if you've been following me, you've seen that I've driven it for a long time, and we know it's an LS powered car. We know it's got a sequential, but we really didn't know a whole lot before that. So I thought it'd be fun to hear Ryan's perspective of it. Like I said, he is a legend in the BMW community. He was incredibly influential on me, both as a car builder and as a BMW enthusiast when I started doing this. So to be in this position with him now is, you know, to consider him family, and to be driving this thing is incredible. So thank you so much to Ryan. And no problem. Thank you to Global Time Attack for the awesome event. The car did phenomenal. JMP did an awesome job there. And we're looking forward to seeing what we can extract out of it. I have not seen this team this motivated ever to push the car. We've always had goals. We've always had personal goals, but this year we're fired up more than ever to see what we can really get out of it and to really chase that record, which is what Time Attack is about. So next year our goal is that 42. We want to beat those very fast Pro Awesome guys and see what we can do. Granted, the rules were quite different then and now, but we're going to do our best and hopefully go fast and do it, right?
That's right.
Cool. All right, guys. Thank you, and see you next time.